Welcome, everyone. Let's just jump right in. If you've ever stared at a blinking cursor, completely terrified to hit the send button on one of your very first professional emails, you are absolutely in the right place. Look, we've all been there, right? You're sitting there trying to figure out if your tone is way too casual, if your formatting looks weird, or the absolute worst, if you accidentally CC'd the entire department. Well, today, we are going completely hands-on. This explainer is basically your ultimate survival guide to mastering email etiquette, and it's perfectly tailored for entry-level professionals stepping into a brand new role. We're going to break down the exact formulas and rules you need so you can hit send with total confidence.
Okay, so here's our quick roadmap to total inbox confidence. We'll start with the entry-level email workflow, then cover subject lines and salutations, look at tone, fonts, and formatting, touch on signatures and legal polish, run through some pitfalls and quiz scenarios, and wrap up with your daily reference checklist.
All right, let's kick things off with Section 1, the entry-level email workflow. So, the absolute most crucial point here is Step 1. Always, and I mean always, leave the recipient email address blank when you first start writing. Seriously, this is the single best way to avoid that total nightmare of accidentally sending an incomplete draft or a half-baked thought way too early. Once that recipient field is empty, you can safely write your subject line, draft your message, do a really thorough proofread, and then, only as the very last step, plug in that email address. Moving right along to Section 2, subject lines and salutations. Let's look at the top of your email.
You know, vague subject lines are just a massive missed opportunity. If you use a subject like question, meeting, or important, you're giving the reader absolutely nothing to act on. Instead, try starting your subject line with an action word. Use info for informational emails or request for action items. Something like request, Q4 budget approval, tells them exactly what to expect before they even open it. It's a real game changer for managing a busy inbox.
Now, if you're ever struggling with exactly how formal to be in your greetings, try this neat psychological trick called mirroring. Basically, you just look at how the other person communicates. If they sign off with their first name, you can usually safely mirror that in your reply by addressing them by their first name. But a quick caveat here. For an initial communication, or if you're dealing with someone very senior, definitely err on the side of formality with a dear Mr. or Miss.
Next up, Section 3, tone, fonts, and formatting.
When you're constructing the actual body of your message, keep your font choices super simple. It's usually safest to just stick with default fonts like Calibri or Arial. Avoid colorful text, honestly, it's distracting and kind of hard to read. You also want to use what's called block format, so that's left justified, single-spaced, with a blank line between short paragraphs. Oh, and please, whatever you do, avoid typing in all caps. It is literally considered workplace shouting. Lowercase letters are much easier to digest, and you can just use bold or italics sparingly if you really need to emphasize something.
Check out this visual comparison. A dense block of text is just intimidating, right? It's incredibly hard to scan. Breaking up long lists into clean bullet points makes your message exponentially easier to read. And keep in mind, most of your supervisors and colleagues are probably reading your emails on small mobile screens, so make it easy for them.
All right, down to the bottom of the email in Section 4, signatures and legal polish.
Take a look at this. A standard signature block from a legal office is actually a fantastic blueprint for a credible close. It's clean, it's organized, and it includes everything from names and organizational titles to full addresses and a strict confidentiality disclaimer. Adding this level of polish really ensures your recipient takes your communication seriously. You want to ensure your signature includes these key pieces of contact info. At a bare minimum, you need your name, your title, your organization, your phone number, and your email address. And yes, I know, including your email address in an email might feel a bit redundant, but it ensures the recipient never has to guess or search around for how to reach you directly. Plus, if your office requires it, be sure to tack on that confidentiality notice as well.
Moving into Section 5, pitfalls and quiz scenarios. Let's test your instincts here.
Okay, imagine this scenario. You are absolutely furious at a vendor, or maybe a colleague, because of a massive project delay. Your heart is racing, you're annoyed, and you just finished typing out a highly emotional, super heated response. So what do? Do you hit send immediately just to get it off your chest, or do you wait?
Well, the absolutely crucial point here is never email when you are angry or emotional. Go ahead and write that draft if you need to vent, but again, do not put an email address in the recipient line. Take the time to calm down, keep your words positive, and just sleep on it. Reread it the next day before you actually decide to send it. And remember, face-to-face conversations or a quick phone call are often much better ways to handle complex or emotional issues anyway.
All right, here is another incredibly common dilemma. You get an email that was sent out to the entire department. You have an answer, but your answer really only matters to the person who originally sent the message. What's the move? Do you hit reply or do you hit reply all?
The golden rule here is to be extremely judicious. Do not use reply all if your message isn't relevant to everyone on that list. You've got to keep CCs to a minimum. Honestly, unless there is a crystal clear reason for every single recipient to read your text, just spare their inboxes and reply individually.
Let's wrap this all up with Section 6, your daily reference checklist. Scan this quick do and don't table to really lock in the basics. Do use clear requests, but don't use unprofessional emojis or slang. And here's a massive don't to keep in mind. Never expect privacy in your workplace emails. Company computers are company property. You should always write as if your email could be read by literally anyone.
Also, don't just rely on automated spell checkers or grammar software. I mean, they are great tools for sure, but they totally miss context. You really must manually verify your dates, times, and location info to make sure everything is absolutely accurate.
Run through this rapid-fire list right before every single send. Ask yourself, have you spelled the recipient's name correctly? Is your call to action specific? Is your tone suitably formal? And crucially, specifically check that you've actually attached the document you mentioned in the body of the email. Forgetting attachments is one of the most common mistakes out there, and it just causes unnecessary delayed follow-ups. Everything we've covered today, from leaving the recipient blank while you draft, to writing those specific subject lines, to formatting for easy reading, it all boils down to this fantastic piece of advice. The goal of professional emailing isn't to sound super smart or use the fanciest words, it's to ensure your message is clearly and easily understood by the person on the other end. So I want to leave you with this provocative thought as you head back to your inbox. Before you hit send today, ask yourself, does this email represent my best professional self? Every single message you send shapes your professional identity. Use these principles, follow the workflow, and start hitting send with total confidence. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and happy emailing!